Welcome to the CompTIA Network Plus series. In this lesson, we will start by setting the foundation. Our focus is network fundamentals, but viewed through the lens of medical engineering. Networks form the hidden framework that allows medical devices and systems to communicate. So just think of a hospital. Patient monitors, imaging machines, and electronic records are not isolated. They rely on structured connections to share information reliably. This series is not only about prepping for the Network Plus exam, it is also about understanding why these concepts matter for healthcare. As we go forward, we will take each building block step by step. We will see how small technical details like how devices link together create the larger systems that support patient care. So let's begin why networking is so central to healthcare today. Why does networking matter in healthcare? To answer that, let's look at how hospitals function today. Every modern hospital is essentially a networked environment. From the infusion pumps, ventilators, and monitoring equipment, they are all not designed to work alone. They're all linked into systems that allow the data to flow between the staff, departments, and even cities. For example, an ECG recorded at the bedside can be viewed by a cardiologist across town. A nurse may receive an alert from a patient's monitor directly on a handheld device. So these are not extra features. They are all central to patient safety and care. And what networking provides, it provides a structure that makes all of this possible. And in this lesson, we will explain how the concepts you study in Network Plus gives you the tools to understand and design such systems step by step. Let's build an image of what the future looks like. Imagine walking into a hospital where every device is part of one conversation. The MRI scanner does not just create images, it automatically transfers them to a surgeon's screen. Infusion pumps are monitored by a central system which can alert staff if a parameter is out of range. A wearable sensor in a patient at home sends updates directly into the hospital's electronic records. This vision that I'm describing is not a distant science fiction. It is the direction healthcare systems are moving right now. And at the core of all of this is networking. Without strong, reliable, and secure networks, none of these systems can function together. And in this series, we will carefully examine the fundamentals that make this vision possible, starting from the ground up. Now let's outline what we will cover in this series. We will begin with the basics, what a network is and how it functions. From there, we will examine protocols, which are the rules that allow devices to communicate. We will also study the hardware, routers, switches, and servers, which form the backbone of any network. Security is also another critical topic which we'll discuss on a separate video. But in healthcare, where sensitive patient data is constantly moving across networks, protection is very essential. And by the end of the series, which will be probably a couple of months, you will not only know the definitions and structures, but you will also understand how to apply them in healthcare settings. The goal is to learn step by step, so each new layer builds on what came before, just as a real network builds from small pieces into a larger system. Let's define the word network. At its simplest, a network is two or more devices connected so they can share information. But once we look closer, the structure becomes more complex. A local network might connect devices in a single hospital ward. A wide area network could link hospitals across different regions. Networks are built from key components: routers, switches, servers, and the links between them. Architectures like client server or peer-to-peer describe how information flows within the network. For a medical engineer, these are not abstract terms. They describe the systems that allow critical devices to communicate. And in this lesson, we will walk through each piece carefully, showing how the simple definition of devices sharing information scales into the backbone of modern healthcare systems. Now let's connect all these ideas with real examples in healthcare. Consider patient monitoring systems. A patient's heart rate and oxygen levels are streamed continuously to a central station. This is networking in action. Imaging devices like CT or MRI scanners, they produce very large data files, and these files must be shared quickly and securely with radiologists. Electronic health records. These systems bring together inputs from many different devices and departments, allowing staff to make decisions with complete information. Each of these examples highlight the same idea. Without networks, the devices are isolated. With networks, they form part of a larger coordinated system. And in this section, we will study the cases step by step, connecting the technical concepts to real-world healthcare applications. Now let's look more closely at the main components of a network. Routers are responsible for directing data between different networks. Switches manage the flow of data within a local network, ensuring that information gets to the right device. Servers act as central points where data is stored and processed. Clients, such as computers or tablets, request and use that data. Finally, the physical medium, cables and wireless access points, forms the path the data travels on. Each component has a specific role, and together they form the complete system. In healthcare, the reliability of each part is critical. A delay or failure in routing information could impact patient care. In this lesson, we will study each component carefully, building an understanding of how they work together, step by step. When approaching network for the first time, it can seem like a large subject with many terms and layers. The best way to learn is to focus on the fundamentals. Understand the building blocks thoroughly, because once the foundation is clear, the advanced topics makes more sense. Practice is also important. Setting up a small lab, using simulation tools, or even experimenting with a home network can help. And finally, always connect the concepts that you do to real scenarios. For medical engineering, this could mean asking, how does a routing protocol affect how a monitoring system sends alerts? By grounding the technical concepts in practical examples, learning becomes clearer. And in this section, we're going to outline the strategies that make studying both effective and directly relevant. Looking ahead, the role of networking in healthcare is expanding rapidly. The Internet of Things is bringing connected devices into every part of the hospital. From smart beds to infusion pumps, remote patient care is growing. Where patients are monitored at home as if they were in the hospital, artificial intelligence systems are beginning to use network data to provide real-time support for clinical decisions. And all of these developments rely on strong networks. They must be secure, scalable, and reliable. And in this lesson, we will not only discuss the current state of networking, but also show how the fundamentals you are learning now prepare you for this future. By understanding the basics, you gain the tools to navigate that are coming. To conclude this introduction for this new series that I'm about to start, let's bring the ideas together. Networking knowledge is more than an exam requirement. It is the framework that supports modern healthcare. In this series, we will begin with the fundamentals and gradually build toward more advanced concepts. At each stage, we will connect the technical details to practical applications in medical engineering. The goal is clarity. By the end, you should not only know how the network functions, but also see the larger picture. How these systems improve patient outcomes and shape the future of medicine. In the next few lessons in the following months, we will continue step by step, moving from the basic definition of a network into the deeper layers that make large, reliable systems possible. This is where we begin.